Hello students, welcome to Uma Devi Children Academy. Today we are going to discuss about the chemical properties of the metal and the non-metals. The first one is the reaction of metal with salt solution. So before discussing the reaction of metal with salt solution, we will discuss about the reactivity series of the metal. Last time also we have discussed students. Potassium is more reactive than sodium. Sodium is more reactive than calcium. Calcium is more reactive than magnesium and so on. Right, friends? So here means the water the top of the element is there, it is the most reactive. I will give the numbering. This is the first, it is the more reactive. Second, the second high reactive. Third, calcium is the third high reactive. Fourth, magnesium is the fifth high reactive. For fourth high reactive, and fifth aluminium means the fifth high reactive. Students, so here it means the potassium is the high reactive species, right? So it means when the potassium is high reactive, means the potassium can be displace any species, bottom of the species. The potassium is more reactive than the below these species, right, students? So the top of the element is the high reactive, most reactive, and bottom of the element is the low reactive. Right, students? Okay, I will give one example here. When more reactive metal put into less reactive metal salt solution, Salt solution means we are using the a beaker in which we are using the water. In this water we are adding the salt, that is we called as the salt completely disappear in water, that is we called as a salt solution. Right, friends? So more reactive metals are put into the less reactive metal salt solution. Then more reactive metal displaces the less reactive metal from its salt solution. Right. So students, when you are using the I'm using here the one beaker, students. I'm using here the one beaker here. So here I am using the L. L means less reactive metals, in which I am dipped the M metal. M is more reactive metals are dipped. So then what happens, students? When you dipped here, then M metals are enter into the solution, and L, which is move towards this M metal. M metals come to the solution and the L metals move toward the metals. This is called as a displacement, right, students? So similarly, when more reactive metals are dipped into the less reactive metal solution, then more reactive metal displaces the less reactive metals. Right? I will give an example. Right? You will understand better. So here the zinc metal dipped into copper sulfate solution to form zinc sulfate and copper. Right, when zinc metal dipped into the copper sulfate solution to form zinc sulfate and the copper here. Why this reaction happened? Look at here, students. Look at here, I am using the reactive metal series. Zinc is here and copper is here. So tell me which one is above? Zinc is above the copper, so it means the zinc is more reactive here. Right, students? Zinc is more reactive. Look at here, the zinc more reactive than below zinc iron. Iron is more reactive than the tin. Sn is more reactive than lead. Pb is more reactive than copper. So tell me, students, according to this series, I make series from this to here, from zinc to copper. So tell me which one is more reactive? Zinc. Zinc is more reactive than copper. So that's why. So I'm using here the zinc metal. This is the zinc metal piece. Right? It is not a paper. It is a zinc metal. So zinc metals are dipped into copper sulfate solution. like this students. When you dipped, after some time what we had observed, the copper sulfate solution completely blue color. Blue color, it turns into colorless. Blue color slightly turns into colorless. Why this happened? Because whatever the zinc is there here, zincs are enter into the solution. Zinc metal, in which whatever the zinc atoms are present, that zinc atoms are enter into the solution, and the solution is what the copper is there, copper is deposited over the zinc metal. Right students, once again I will tell you, the zinc metal in which whatever zinc metal is whatever zinc atoms are there, zinc atom enter into the solution. When zinc atom enter into solution, then the solution from which copper, which is move over the surface of the zinc metal. The copper from the copper sulfate solution are deposited over the zinc metal. Right students? So this is the reaction happened here. So zinc is more reactive, that's why it is displace the copper from copper sulfate solution, and that's why copper moved toward the zinc electrode or zinc metal. Students, the conclusion is zinc is more reactive than copper. That's why the zinc is displace copper from copper sulfate. Look at the reaction and displace here. How displace? So zinc displacement, zinc here move toward the copper position, and the copper is separate from the sulfate. Copper sulfate turns into copper. So this is we call it the displace. So why this reaction happened? Because the students, the zinc is more reactive. Zinc is more reactive than copper. That's why the zinc displaces, and or you may say zinc move toward the copper position, and copper which is separate from the sulfate SO4, it turns into copper, single copper atom. Right students? Okay, if you reverse the reaction, when copper metal dipped into zinc sulfate solution, no formation of product. Why this happened here? Already look at here students. The copper is below the zinc. It means the copper is less reactive than zinc. Right? So copper, this is less reactive. Copper is more reactive, and or may say copper is less reactive than zinc. So that's why the copper have a less energy. Copper have less energy. It unable to displace the zinc from zinc sulfate. So there is no formation of product. For example, students, so here I will given the one stick. Here the first person is there, P1, right, and the first person is there, P1. So P1 person is have a less energy, and one more person is there, the tall, and the one more person tall, and the tall, and the good fitness person, he having the high energy, P2. So this P2 person easily dissociate this stick, but P1 person having the less energy, he unable to dissociate this stick. Like that, because the copper having here the less energy, so it is unable to dissociate the bond between zinc and sulfate. Copper have a less energy, so the less energy of copper unable to dissociate the bond between copper and sulfate. So this reaction is not possible, right? So what we conclusion got here? The copper is less reactive than zinc. Therefore copper less reactive than zinc. Here make it zinc, students. Here make it zinc. This is the copper, this is zinc. Therefore copper unable to displace zinc from zinc sulfate. Right students? Copper is less reactive than zinc. Make here zinc, students. Make here zinc. In this position, in this style, in this side you have to make zinc. Therefore copper unable to displace zinc from zinc sulfate. Okay, look at here the example, students. So the here the one person dipping the copper into the zinc sulfate solution. After some time, what we got? There is no change here, right? After some time, what we got here? No change, no change, right? No change. So after some time, what we got here? There is a no change, or you may say no reaction, no no reaction here, because copper is high reactive, sorry, zinc is high reactive, copper is less reactive. So less reactive copper cannot displace the zinc from zinc sulfate. Right, students? Understood? Okay. Okay, one more example I will give, students. Iron metal dipped into copper sulfate solution to form iron sulfate and copper. Why this happened? According to the reactivity series, iron is more reactive than copper. Look at here. Where is iron? Here, iron, and copper is here. So iron is above the copper. It means iron is high reactive and the copper is less reactive. Iron is high reactive, copper is less reactive. So that's why what happens, students, the copper sulfate in which if you are dip the iron remove the copper from copper sulfate, or you may say iron move toward the copper position and copper separated here. Right, students? Because iron high energy or you may say high reactive iron displaces the less reactive copper. Understood? But when you reverse the reaction, there is no product. When you reverse the reaction, the copper is having the less reactive, or you may say copper having the less energy. So that's why it is unable to separate the iron from iron sulfate. Understood? Okay, next property. Reaction metal with chlorine. When metal react with chlorine to form metal chloride, or it is also called ionic chloride. Right, students? So when metal react with chlorine to form metal chloride. Why this is called the ionic chloride, students? Because when chlorine react with metal, the metal develop positive charge, chlorine develop negative charge. The charge develop here, right? Charge develop. This charge we called as the ions. That's why it is a ionic chlorides, right? When chlorine bonded with the metal, between the metal and the chlorine develop charge, they show the attraction here. That's what is called ionic chloride. So ionic chloride, solid substance. Ionic chloride conduct electricity in aqueous form. It means when you use the water in which you are adding the metal chloride, then the both metal and the chlorides both are separated here, and they develop the complete charge, metal positive, chlorine negative, and they conduct electricity. But in solid, they cannot conduct electricity because the metal and the chlorine strongly bonded, so that's why they cannot allow the electric current. So metal chloride have a high boiling point, high melting point. Why? Because of I already told you, the metal and the chlorine having the strong bonding. Very strong bonding is present between the metal and chlorine. So that's why it is the high melting point and high boiling point. For example, sodium metal react with chlorine to form sodium chloride. Na react with Cl2 to form 2NaCl. For second example, Mg react with chlorine to form magnesium chloride. Let's try the next property, reaction of metal with hydrogen. Metal react with hydrogen to form metal hydride. Metal hydride is the general name when any metal which react with hydrogen to form metal hydride. The formula like this, students: Mh or you may write the metal react with hydrogen to form metal hydride. That is the general formula. Right, students? Okay, only few reactive metal like sodium, magnesium, potassium, calcium are combined with hydrogen to form metal hydride. Only these four species which are react with the metal to form metal hydride, students, because these only four species are more reactive towards hydrogen. This only the reason. Only these four species more easily attract the hydrogen. Sodium react with hydrogen to form sodium hydride. Calcium react with hydrogen to form calcium hydride. Right, students? So this is the formula. The calcium valency 2, that's why it's react with the 2 hydrogen to form calcium hydride. So sodium react with hydrogen. The sodium is 1, sodium valency 1. So hydrogen here 2, 2. So that's why we are multiplying with 2. So we are using the 2 hydrogen to form 2 NaH. Right, students? Okay, next is the chemical properties of non-metal. So these are 6 property: non-metal with oxygen, non-metal with water, non-metal with dilute acid, non-metal with salt solution, non-metal with chlorine, non-metal with hydrogen. Right, students? So let's see one by one. Reaction of non-metal with oxygen. Non-metal like carbon, sulfur, phosphorus, nitrogen react with oxygen to form acidic oxide. Right, acidic oxide or neutral oxide. Why it is called acidic oxide? I will explain you, students. Example: carbon react with oxygen to form carbon dioxide. Right. So this carbon dioxide is dissolved in water to form carbonic acid. So what are the non-metal oxide? Look at, students, when metal react with oxygen to form metal oxide. Right. After that, the metal oxide, if you are dissolving in water, it means metal oxide, if it completely dissolved in water to form the metal, sorry, HMO2. So this is act as a acidic nature. Why it is called a acidic nature? Because when the carbon react with oxygen to form carbon dioxide, and this carbon dioxide react with water to form carbonic acid. When this carbonic acid, in which you may dip the blue litmus paper, then the dipped portion which turns into red. So red is the indication of the acidic. Red is the indication of acidic. So that's why it is called acidic nature. Right, students? So blue litmus paper dipped into the carbonic acid solution turns into red. So second one example, non-metal sulfur react with oxygen to form sulfur dioxide. Sulfur react with oxygen to form sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide dissolved in water to form sulfurous acid. Sulfur dioxide dissolved in water to form sulfurous acid. This is sulfurous acid, formula H2SO3. Right, students? So sulfurous acid, in which again you may dip the litmus paper. Sulfurous acid, in which you may dip the H2SO3, in which you may dip the blue litmus paper. The dipped portion turns into red. If it turns into red, means that is acidic nature. If there is no change in color, means that is neutral. Right, students? So second one is reaction of non-metal with water. The non-metal cannot react with water because non-metal unable to break the bond between hydrogen and oxygen in water. Look at it, students. If I am using any non-metal I am using as a symbol M. If I am using the water, so water is H2O. I will write like this, H2O. So non-metals are unable to dissociate the bond between hydrogen oxygen and oxygen hydrogen. It unable to dissociate the bond. So I am using here the non-metal students, the non-metal symbol I am using M. When any non-metals, when you treat with the water is the HOH is the water. So it is non-metal have a less energy. So it is unable to dissociate the bond between oxygen and hydrogen, hydrogen and oxygen, and oxygen and hydrogen. So it is unable, it is have a less energy, so it is unable to dissociate the bond between the hydrogen oxygen in water or oxygen hydrogen in water. So that's why it cannot react with water molecules. It means water molecule have a high energy than non-metals. Water molecule have a higher energy than non-metal, so that's why the non-metals are cannot react with water. Third one, reaction of non-metal with dilute acid. When non-metal like carbon, sulfur, phosphorus, nitrogen does not react with dilute acid. Why? Because the same reason, whatever the reasons I explained here, reaction of non-metal with water, the same reason the here also students. The non-metals have a less reactive, or you may say less energy. So it is unable to displace the hydrogen from acids. For example, you may use the carbon. Carbon react with HCl, hydrochloric acid. So carbon have a less energy, so it unable to dissociate the hydrogen from HCl. So there is no formation of product. Similarly, I am using non-metal sulfur. Sulfur are treated with the H2SO4. The H2SO4, the sulfur is have a less energy, is unable to dissociate the bond between the hydrogen and sulfate. So there is no formation of product. So that's why, because these non-metals have a less energy than the acids. Right? What are the acids are there? HCl, H2SO4 and HNO3. All these things have a higher energy than the non-metals. Right, students? So next, students, the fourth property, reaction of non-metal with salt solution. So activities, I will explain here one table here. In this table, the most reactive metals are mentioned. These are the non-metals: fluorine, chlorine, oxygen, bromine, iodine, sulfur, phosphorus. Few non-metals are mentioned here in this table. So what is that means? Here the means the fluorine is more reactive than chlorine. Chlorine is more reactive than oxygen. Oxygen is more reactive than bromine, and bromine is more reactive than iodine. Iodine is more reactive than sulfur. Sulfur is more reactive than phosphorus. It means highest reactive element is fluorine, students, and lowest reactive element is phosphorus. So reactivity decrease here top to bottom. It is high reactive, it is low reactive. Right. So it means, so what happened if I am using here the HCl, students. For example, HCl, I am treated with the fluorine, 2HCl I will use. So then what happens, students? Fluorine is high reactive, so it is remove the chlorine from HCl. High reactive fluorine remove the chlorine from HCl, and it forms 2HF plus Cl2. Right? Understood? But if you are using HF, 2HF plus Cl2, then there is no reaction, because look at here, chlorine is less reactive than fluorine here. Chlorine is below the fluorine, so it means chlorine is less reactive than fluorine. So chlorine have a less energy, it unable to displace the fluorine from hydrogen fluoride. So that's why this reaction is not possible. Understood, students? Similarly, the other example also there, students, here. Understood? So I will give an example here. The sodium bromide treated with chlorine to form sodium chloride and bromine. So look at here students, the according to the series, first we look at the series between the chlorine and bromine. So chlorine and bromine, first we look at the series. So look at here, which one is more reactive? Chlorine is second position, or we may say chlorine is above the bromine. Chlorine is above the bromine, right? So it means the chlorine is high reactive, bromine is less reactive. It means chlorine is high reactive and bromine is the less reactive. So what happened? Chlorine high reactive, it remove bromine from sodium bromide and separate as a bromine molecules, and chlorine move toward the bromine position. Right students? So this reaction is possible. If you reverse the reaction, then what happened? The chlorine bromine. Then what happened? Bromine is less reactive than chlorine. So that's why this reaction is not possible. Right students? So because bromine is less reactive than chlorine, so therefore it is unable to displace chlorine from sodium chloride. Understood students? Okay. Fifth one, reaction of non-metal with chlorine. Non-metal like hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen, sulfur, phosphorus react with chlorine to form respective product. Hydrogen react with chlorine to form hydrogen chloride, H2Cl2 to form 2HCl. This is the one simple example students. So next is the reaction of non-metal with hydrogen. So carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, sulfur react with hydrogen to form covalent hydride. Why it is called covalent? Because these species, carbon with hydrogen, between the carbon hydrogens form covalent bond. What is covalent bond? We will discuss in the next topic students. Sulfur with hydrogen to form hydrogen sulfide. So this is what are the bond is present between these species, that is covalent. That's why it is a covalent hydride. So hydrogen react with sulfur to form hydrogen sulfide. That's students. Look at here, H2 react with S to form H2S. So this is about the today topic students. I hope you understood. If you find any doubt students, then ask me in WhatsApp group. Thank you so much.